Plaintiff Damon Rozier says he got caught up in the drug scene, but after he was released from prison, he turned his life around. Damon became paralyzed after a motorcycle accident, and that's when he got into comedy. And he's suing because the defendant, an event promoter, hired him for a show and failed to pay him. Defendant Tyrone Fossmeyer says he was impressed with Damon from the moment they met because he never let his disability hold him back. Tyrone admits that he hired Damon to do a comedy show, but insists he only agreed to pay Damon if the event sold out, and it didn't.
Start with you.
I was born and raised in Brownsville, Brooklyn. Just want to give you a little background. It's probably the roughest neighborhoods in New York. Mm-hmm. And I got caught up in the drug scene, and I wound up going to jail for selling drugs back in the 80s. Spent a couple of years in the penitentiary, got out, and started to do motivational speaking to the kids going into the high schools, talking about gang violence and things like that. And I was blessed to have 2 children after I came home.
How are they doing?
Oh, they're incredible. They're incredible.
Good.
Both of them in college. One plays for his college baseball team, and the other one has a job in
Excellent. So you turned around just in time.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, 1997, I had a motorcycle accident. A lady made an illegal U-turn. She clipped the bike. I went up, came down. The bike landed on my head, snapped my neck in 2 places, leaving me chest down paralyzed. Needless to say, me and my God had a fight about, why me? After I got over the self-pity of asking, what am I going to do next? Because I had 2 sons that I had to raise. And I show them that, as long as you put God first, anything is possible. Started working out, started training, and I pushed in 9 New York marathons since I've been in a wheelchair now.
Good.
Yeah, I wanted to do 10. I'm working on that. Got to get back in shape. I also play wheelchair rugby for New York State, and I teach sit aerobics. And
what is that?
Sit aerobics is people come into my class. And the crazy thing is, Judge Mathis, no one is disabled. Everybody is able-bodied. They come sit down in a chair and do the exercise that I call out. We have a video.
All right, let's take a look.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and down, and up, and down, and up, and down.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, have you made that a trend yet?
Well, I'm from New York, so it's isolated to New York. Yeah, working on it.
Yeah, you should look into putting a program like that together. And they do everything else for exercise, and women get on the pole, the stripper pole now, exercise. So, congratulations, you really used your obstacle and turned it into a benefit. Excellent. Yeah. Give me some background on yourself, sir.
Well, I work for New York City Parks and Recreation, and that's actually how I met Damon, I was working an event. It was a sit aerobics event, and he was teaching the class to a large group of people in one of the parks in New York. Over 300 people was at this event. Okay. So, we talked for a little bit, and at the end of the event, I asked Damon, well, how you getting home? And next thing you know, he rolls over to his car. He opens up the driver's door, jumps out of his seat into the driver's seat, takes his wheelchair, pulls it apart like Lego blocks, throws it into the passenger seat and says, I'll see you later, man, and drives off.
Wow.
So over the next couple of months and years, I became friends with him and got to know his family. And one day he comes to me, he says, I'm gonna do the New York City Marathon. And I look at him like, why are you telling me? I'm not running 26 miles. Straight up. I'm like, why are you telling me this?
So you're not even running, let alone, go ahead.
I'm not running 26 blocks, you know? So he's like, I'm gonna do the marathon, And
Excuse me, Judge.
Yes.
He did take my class, okay, for 20 seconds of my class, and then he left out.
20 seconds, that's all he can last?
20 seconds, 20 seconds.
All right, we're gonna get to the breach of contract. Why are you suing him today?
I started doing comedy after I got hurt. I never told a joke prior to that. I started doing comedy because I'd never seen anybody in a wheelchair do it. And it actually got me upset because now since I've been in the chair, everything that I don't see people in wheelchair doing, I try to do.
Good.
So I started doing comedy, coming to find out he was putting on events. He would promote for different events, and I told him, I said, I have a pretty good fan base from me doing comedy. I was actually the first comedian in a wheelchair to ever perform on Comic View, where Kevin Hart was the host.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so I'm proud of that.
You got a lot of money-making opportunities there. You have to jump on. You don't have a manager? That's why you're suing him, huh? Go ahead, what happens?
So we're talking about putting together a show with all disabled comedians. And when I told him, I was like, I have a pretty good fan base. He's like, well, I'll pay you $3,500 to headline the show. Wow. Nothing about if I don't bring 20 million people to the show, he's not going to pay me. It wasn't none of that, Judge. What? It wasn't none of that, Judge. It was, I'm coming to do the show. I told him I had good fan base. Should do good numbers.
So what happened with the show?
The show went well. Went well. It just wasn't apparently to his liking.
He didn't pay you.
It went well for who?
Didn't pay me. I was outside speaking to the people after the show, and he went out the back door, Judge.
Like some other promoters.
Went out the back door, and he went out the back door because the front door was accessible, the back door wasn't, so there were steps, so I couldn't catch him.
Go ahead, sir. Let me hear from you.
Some of what he's saying is true, some of it is false. Basically, I did come to him with the idea about doing a show with the all disabled people, and knowing he's from New York, he had the New York following, he got all these Twitter followers, no one followed him to the box office. And that's what I needed, I did tell him I'll get the theater, I'll pay for it. He was supposed to promote, that was part of the verbal agreement that he was supposed to help promote.
Splitting the proceeds with you.
Well, no, I was paying him. I was getting the proceeds. I was paying him.
He has to be comedian and promoter, but he only gets money for performing.
Because he's from New York. He was the focal point of my show.
I know, on the show, not the promoter. The person who sends out the notices to come see the show is the promoter. He gets the money for that. You don't have the talent send out notices. They
coming to see him.
Yeah, you confused about
right? They're not coming to see the promoter. They're coming to see the acts.
You're confused about. How long you been in the promotion business? Was this your first time?
No, I had promoted events with him before, and it was the same way. He would.
He's the only one you've tricked like that?
I've done.
Who else have you had that had to do their own advertising?
Everyone I work with, I let them know that, it's your job to promote this on your social media, Facebook.
So what are you then? If it's their job to promote, what are you doing?
I'm a businessman. I get the location. I pay for that out of my pocket, the location that they're going to be performing at, everything like that, and I take care of the business aspect.
That's a secretary. I promote expos, youth and education expos around the country. We get thousands of people in these various cities I go to. And we have talent come. We have athletes and entertainers who come and they help attract the kids and the parents. And Shaq, who is attending one, I don't say, Shaq, tell your followers to come. I say, Shaq, would you show up for a half hour? And to book the venue, I have my assistant do that. He calls the place. How much do you charge? We charge $10,000. Okay, you send us a contract. That's not promotion, that's administration. Promotion is getting people in. That's why they call it promotion. You promote something to bring attention to it.
I did do that. I printed over 10,000 flyers with this man's face on it and the other acts, handed it around New York. 10,000 flyers. That means if I get 1%, which is 1,000 people, I can sell out the arena. The arena only holds 600 people.
But you're asking him, my point is, you're asking him to use his resources. And that's not what a promoter does for the talent. The talent sometimes voluntarily says, come to the show. But he doesn't use his own resources. He doesn't go home and take money out of his budget to promote his show. So, sir, I think you got it wrong. I'm going to send you to some promoters. But what happened with this? Why aren't you paying him?
Because I didn't make any money. I didn't make any money.
You really don't know about promotion.
I didn't make any money.
So,
I can't pay him something I don't have. And
but
honestly,
you owe
I
him.
thought we were better friends
Do you
than
agree that you owe him at least?
I mean,
you don't even think you owe the man.
Like I said,
think
I
he's
thought we
jealous
were
of me.
friends.
I mean, common sense. You thought you were
I thought we
friends.
were friends. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
so
when
if
he
you'd
saw
have
that it
made
wasn't
some money,
sold out,
if you'd have made some money, you'd have kept your money.
Yep.
I would have took care of him.
No, he
Yeah, but
wouldn't.
you'd have kept the rest.
Yeah.
What do you say the agreement was? Was the agreement you don't get paid unless I get paid?
That was never the agreement because that wasn't really, I didn't expect that to happen. Like I said, I had done events with Damon in the past. We had promoted
You've never
events
lost
and so-
money?
Never. Not,
As a promoter, you don't think they lose money sometimes?
This was my first time coming across it, so.
Common sense or knowing the
Well,
industry.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure, of course, I'm sure there's, I've heard about it and, you
And
know.
do you
but this
think
was
that-
my first time coming across a situation
And so
like
you
this.
don't think they should pay the expenses even though they lose?
I did offer to pay him a couple of $100.
Couple of hundred.
I mean, because
What was the
because it was
agreement?
coming out of my pocket now. It wasn't
How much-
like
Yo, you have
it
a
wasn't like
contract.
Yes,
I
I
was
do.
making money.
Yeah, sir,
it was
you're
now coming out of my
confused.
own pocket.
Once again, if you advertise on the radio and you don't make money, you still have to pay the radio station for those ads.
Which I did.
If
I
you,
paid the
right, you
cable
paid
station
everybody
to-
but him. That's my point. You didn't pay all your expenses. He was your biggest expense. And
Yeah.
you didn't pay him.
But
Pardon?
he was also supposed to be the biggest person bringing the stuff back, so I could make the money to
You're
pay
in the
him.
risk business, sir. But you need to get in another business. If you don't understand, you have to pay your talent fee. And if you don't have the money to pay him, you owe him. Were you running out the back door, going down steps,
Down
knowing
steps.
that the man can't
That's
go
'cause
down steps?
We spoke about it before.
And he's so determined and so persistent that he was subject to try and go down those steps. $3,500 is your judgment. There's no legal defense on this contract. There's no condition that you make money, and that is not part of the trade and custom. The trade and custom in the promotion business is that you must pay your expenses, win or lose. Have a good day. Judgment for
Thank
the
you,
plaintiff.
Judge. Thank you so much. Hey.
Whatever.
That's what you get. That's what you get from trying to be slick, homie. I just think you jealous, man, because I get more girls than you now.
Always, man.
Okay, all right.